Wanted to bring you a Longmont update for October of 2021. This update is on the detached single-family housing market, and not to be expected. Well, I guess it is to be expected, but at the same time, it is still just mind-blowing at how much this market has been shifting. Our inventory levels are falling again, as you would expect to see in the fall, but boy, are those buyers out there in force. We have had actives and under contracts and solds all hitting record numbers in many cases for fall markets, and we just can't get enough housing in the Longmont market. So you can really see here kind of where that's headed. The under contracts are up again from September to October, which means strong sales into the fall, which is a really good sign. The average sales price is bouncing all over the place. It's definitely not going down, even though it may look like it over the last couple of months. But if you look at more of a long-term view here, the trend is up, up, up in a hurry. That 7% is pretty inaccurate. We're probably more like 15 to 20% of price appreciation in that Longmont detached home market. So you're sitting on a giant chunk of equity as a homeowner, and if it's time to trade up or trade out of Longmont, this might be an amazing time to do that. Now you can see here the sold units. We've not quite hit the numbers we were at last year, and a lot of that is due to the lack of supply that needed to hit the market. Now we had that shutdown in April and May, and we barely beat those numbers in 2021. So in 2020, we really had a surge of inventory coming on the market in the summer and the fall. And in this year, we really just have not been able to keep up with demand. So not enough people willing to leave because it's a very desirable city and we can't build fast enough. So we're about 8% short of our total sales numbers for the detached market of where we were a year ago. That's a good representation of what that market is really doing, because that was 1,400 homes last year and about almost not quite 1,300 homes this year. So 100 homes short of where we would like to be, or at least where the buyer demand is probably at. Now, if we could just get some of that inventory in the market, that'd be great. So if you're thinking of listing a home, this is not necessarily a bad time to do that. And a lot of the reasons why, this being one of them, the month supply of inventory is very low. We're basically at 2 weeks. It's one of the lowest month supply of inventories in the entire county. So in Boulder County and even surrounding areas, 2 weeks is more like a spring market in many cases. Longmont has definitely been moving faster than most. You saw that faster about 1 week in that spring time frame. But right now, this is just completely unheard of. We usually bounce around 1 month of inventory, sometimes a little bit more than that, even in 2 months of inventory here on the Front Range, especially in Longmont, as it's been growing so rapidly. Now, what you can see here, the days on market really suggest that buyers are out in force. We're talking 31 days on market. That means things are going under contract the first weekend in many cases. So if you are a buyer, stick with it, because the fall is probably a decent window of opportunity to get something under contract, so you don't have to compete with the spring market coming up. And price appreciation is going to go through the roof again next year, assuming interest rates don't spike, which they don't really look like they're going to, even if they trickle up a little bit. Now, with buyer demand this high and not enough inventory in the market, expect it to just get shorter and shorter all the way through the end of the year. If you have other questions, I'm Anthony at Land Title. I hope to keep you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe.